So welcome everybody. We're here for our final week of our spring session of chair yoga, even though it's now officially summer. We started in the spring. And for this season or this session, what I decided to do was an exploration of the Yamas and the Niyamas. And while we start the practice with a traditional mudra and yoga meditation, we've been ending the practice with my choice of some Western music that may exemplify some of the principles in those mudras. I was talking to a dear friend who is also a yoga therapist like myself, and I said, you know, I just think some of those Indian dogmatic teachers may take exception to what I'm doing. And she kind of reassured me. She said, hey, look, yoga's all about joy. As long as everybody's finding joy, don't worry about it. Here comes our final participant today, so let me get her in. So again, if any of you take exception to how I've merged some of the Western songs with some of these very spiritual principles, please know that it's not meant with disrespect. It's more at looking at the sense of humor that we all need to have in life. So this one that we're working with today is Ishvara Pranidhana. I think that's my favorite one to say. It is the pinnacle of the niyamas. It's basically, in the yogic terms, surrendering to the divine. And again, that has very different meanings. When we think of divine, we usually think of something out there. In yoga, we think of it within. So it's surrendering to the divine within us. And the principle takes the philosophy a little bit further. It's also surrendering to the divine in all of life's creature, recognizing that there's divine in everything. Even things that we may think of as inanimate, like the trees and the birds. And certainly, I feel that more as I've aged than I did when I was younger. So Christy mentioned my flute. It's not unusual for me to get out on my deck and start playing with the birds with my flute. And I kind of look at that. That's my little way of connecting with the divine and those little chirpy birdies out there. So that's how I view it. My teacher, Nishala Joy Devi, says it in a different way. And again, it's a little bit more flowery. She says, through wholehearted dedication, Ishvara Pranidhana, we become intoxicated with the divine. And I kind of like that because it just basically says you're in love with life. And I think if we look at it that way, it's a lot easier and it's non-dogmatic for anyone if you have other practices that you may engage in. The mudra for this is one that is very often seen in yoga poses or yoga meditative poses. You're going to bring the index finger and the thumb together, and the other fingers are extended straight. And then you're going to bring your hands so the palms are down, and they're just going to rest on your thighs. This is called the chin mudra. It's the gesture of consciousness for cultivating surrender to the divine. And chin, which means consciousness, supports the continual conscious awareness of the divine presence in all creation. It cultivates the ability to embrace all of creation with deep reverence and appreciation. From a physical standpoint, the mudra, holding the mudra, is thought to support full yogic breathing, expanding our awareness of breath, and feeling that energy along that front torso. As we rest holding this mudra, we create an inner stillness that allows us to experience divine presence more profoundly. And again, that's not just within ourselves, it's with those we interact with. So with that, I invite you to gently hold that mudra, resting your hands where it's comfortable on your lap. Close your eyes. Take several natural breaths to attune to all the feelings and sensations awakened by this gesture. Notice how your breath flows smoothly and evenly throughout your entire body, allowing you to relax more deeply. With a greater sense of relaxation, you become more sensitive to the presence of divine intelligence and energy permeating all of creation, including your own being. Take several breaths to attune to all pervading divine energy, sensing it as a source and essence of everything. Begin by sensing divine energy within the natural laws that maintain dynamic balance and harmony. From the farthest stars to the smallest seeds, holding within them the potential to bring forth majestic trees. Take several breaths to affirm your deep reverence and gratitude for all of creation's mystery as a reflection of the divine light within all things. Now sense the divine essence within your own body, infusing your physical being with life force energy, orchestrating your entire physiology with miraculous efficiency. Take several breaths to sense your deep reverence and gratitude for every system, organ, tissue, and cell of your being, given as a precious vehicle for your life's journey. Next, recognize the divine light within your senses, acknowledging hearing, touch, sight, taste, and smell as essential instruments for meeting your basic needs and exploring creation's infinite beauty. Take several breaths to affirm your deep reverence and gratitude for all of your senses, allowing you to perceive the divine source within everything. Now acknowledge your mind as a reflection of the divine, appreciating its capacity to process the thoughts and feelings in past, present, and future time, weaving a tapestry that unfolds all of your possibilities, naturally guiding you towards spiritual awakening. Take several breaths to affirm your deep reverence and gratitude for your thoughts and feelings, especially those that are challenging, for they provide the learning that ultimately allows you to see the divine in everything. Recognizing the divine within everything, you realize your life's deepest meaning, becoming one with creation's unfolding mystery. Then as you feel ready, I invite you to slowly release the gesture, taking several breaths, bringing in gratitude and reverence, opening your eyes, and gently recognizing the divine essence that permeates all of creation. So before I step back to do some of our seated postures, I thought we'd start with some eye exercises because we haven't done any of those during this session. And my intention was to exercise the eyes with the intent of the physical seeing of the divine within everything. But as the meditation suggests, any of the senses can feel this presence. So we're going to start with an image of an analog clock. And when we look up, it would be 6 o'clock. When we look down, when we look up, it would be 12 o'clock. When we look down, it would be 6. So imagine you're facing the clock. If you look over to the right, it would be 3, and over to the left, it would be 9. So if you can process the numbers as a visualization, that's great. If not, just think of up, down, right, left, and we're going to go crosswise as well. So just you can do this with your eyes, either with a soft gaze in front of you, or if it feels more comfortable, you can close your eyes. So just take the eyes up, looking up towards the ceiling, which would be 12 o'clock, and then take them down towards 6, then back towards 12, down to 6, up to 12, down to 6. Now let's bring them over to 3 and then over to 9. So we're looking side to side. So just gently allow those eyes to go back and forth from right to left about 3 times. And then we're going to bring the eyes into like a catty corner. So we're going to look up towards 1 o'clock and back down towards 7, up to 1 and down towards 7, up to 1, down towards 7, up to 1, down towards 7. Now we're going to take it across again, going over to 11 and down towards 5. 11 to 5, 11 to 5, 11 to 5. Now I invite you to imagine that analog clock and just go around the clock clockwise. Imagine stopping the eyes as a gaze at each point in the clock. So it would be starting at 12, maybe going to 1, 2, 3, and so on. And just take it around twice, taking it as slow or as quickly as is comfortable. If you go slowly, you tend to exercise the muscles a little bit more. And then when you've completed 2 rounds, if you could just give me a thumbs up so I know everybody's complete. Okay, now we're going to take it counterclockwise. So we're going to go from 12, 11, 10, 9, and so on around the opposite direction. We'll do that 2 times. And then whenever you complete that, if your eyes are open, please give them a close so that they have a chance to relax. If it's something that feels good for you, if you want to rub your palms together and then place them over the eyes to warm the eyes, feel free to do that very gently. And then as you feel ready, you can remove the fingers from the area of the eyes. We're just going to blink open and close the eyes a few times, coming back into the room, and then pause the blinking. Make sure you're feeling situated in the room. I was thinking about this exercise because I'm on a couple of networking sites with other yoga teachers. And some of the younger yoga teachers were lamenting that the new generation doesn't know how to read an analog clock. So they're like, how do I teach that eye exercise digitally? I thought, that's a good one. I'm so glad I teach seniors. We all know what analog is. Okay, so we're gonna come up on our toes, back on our heels, lifting the toes, up on the toes, back on the heels, up on the toes, back on the heels, up on the toes, back on the heels, up on the toes, and back on the heels. And then let's just march it out. And then pause the marching, finding that comfortable seat. We're going to pair our neck movements with our arm movements. So we're going to inhale the arms up, gazing up towards the ceiling. And then exhale as the chin comes down, the arms come back behind us. Inhaling up and exhaling back behind us. Inhale up and exhale back. Inhale up, exhale back, and 2 more. Inhale up and exhale back, and last one. Inhale up and exhale back down. Now we're going to take our head to the left as we bring the right arm up, so we're turning the head, gazing at the side wall. Exhale, bring the head back to center as the hand comes down. Inhaling up, turning the head to the right, the left arm comes up, and exhale down. Taking it again, inhaling and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And let's take 3 more of these at your pace. If I'm taking it too fast for you, slow it down. If I'm going too slow, you can quicken it up, your choice. And then with the head back, oops, sorry, I didn't see everybody wasn't done. All right, with the head back at center, we're going to drop the chin towards the chest, and we're just going to bring the chin slightly over towards that right armpit, so we're stretching the side of the neck. If it feels good and you want to extend that left arm out, feel free to do so. And then as you bring the head back to center, release the arm down and then take it to the other side. Bringing the chin towards the left armpit now, and then back to center. Again, you can do this either with your eyes open or closed. Sometimes with the eyes open, turning the head can be a bit disorienting, so feel free to close the eyes if that's better. And we're going to take this a total of 5 times. I've just demonstrated 2, so we're about to go on to our third. So take it at your pace, feeling the sensation and the stretch in the neck, lingering if that feels good. And then whenever you complete the movements of the head and the arms, just return back to center. So we're going to start with the palms in front of us, the head is back at center, and we're just going to bring the fingertips to the shoulders. And then we're going to allow the hands to come back to center. Palms are facing up. And then up again, and exhale back down. Inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down. On the next inhale, let the fingers rest at the shoulders, and then we're going to open up those elbows and bring them together for elbow kisses. And then open wide and together. Open wide and together. Open wide and together. Open wide and together. And last one, open wide and together. And then we're going to release the hands down. We're going to take the right shoulder up towards the ear, back and down. And then take the left. So we're doing like figure 8s with the movement of our shoulders. And then we're going to bring the arms up into cactus, and then we're going to bring the hands and the forearms together, and then open wide. Arms and forearms together, hands and forearms together, and open and together, open and together, open and together, open and together. Now we're going to leave those arms open, and we're going to allow the fingers to point towards the floor. And then inhale back up and exhale back down. Inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down. One more. Inhale up, exhale down. Release the arms down by the side. Take those shoulders up, back and down. Again, just allowing the shoulders to release any tension that may be holding on. And then reverse that movement, so bringing the shoulders forward and back. And then pause the movement of the shoulders, and we're going to bring the shoulders up towards the ear with an inhale, and then an exhale, down. And one more. Let's bring the wrist into the action. We're going to circle those wrists in one direction. And then the other direction. Then we're going to interlace the fingers, making a figure 8 with our fists. And then we're going to pause the movement of the hands and the wrists. We're going to bring the palms to heart center. We're going to inhale the arms up, and then exhale, coming back down towards the center. Inhaling up, exhale, coming back to center. Inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down, and last one, inhale up, and exhale down. Let's flip the fingers so they're pointing down and the back of the hands are together. So we're going to come up the center and then open the hands out wide. And inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And two more. Inhale and exhale. And last one. Inhale and exhale. Let's stretch each of the fingers. So we're going to start with the pinky on the right hand, stretching it back. Then the ring finger, middle finger, index finger, and thumb. And then we're going to stretch all the fingers. You're going to see this movement in our song of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Then we're going to take it again, other side. And then stretch. And then speaking of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, we're also going to be turning our wrist and our ankle from side to side. So starting on the right, taking it from side to side. This will be another movement in the song. And then release it down, and then we're going to take it on the left side. Gently. I hope you're not hearing all my snap, crackle, and pop. It's making a lot of noise today. Never sure what the mic picks up. And then release it down. Let's march everything out. And then we're going to take those hands, spreading the fingers wide, and then we're going to just gently move each knuckle. So we're going to the first bend right below the fingernail, then the middle, and then coming back so that the fingers are reaching towards the bottom of the palm. And then we're going to bring those thumbs over across the top. Then bringing the thumbs out, we're going to take all of the fingers back up. Let's do that 2 more times. So starting at the top, middle, and all the way down. Then gently take each joint of the thumb in so that the thumb comes across that index finger. And then bring that thumb out, and then gently spread those fingers wide. And let's just take it a few times with the thumb inside the fingers and the thumb outside. So if any of you live in the vicinity of, I'll say, Pennsylvania to Washington, D.C., if you see me driving in a red Honda CR-V, sometimes you'll see me doing this in the car because I have a tendency to grip the steering wheel too tight, especially when traffic's bad. So this is my go-to, is to just get those hands moving one at a time. I don't take my fingers off the wheel. And then shake it out. There's a lot of yoga principles I do on that drive. And then just shake everything out. We're going to play the piano. And then we're going to conduct the orchestra. Okay, now we're going to take those hands out into a T, pressing towards either side of the room. We're going to go into our archer pose, and as we've been doing before, some people have expressed a desire for more standing. You can do this standing if you like. If you want to do it standing, you're going to take that right foot out so that the heel is perpendicular to the arch of the left foot. The right hand makes, and your index finger points towards the wall, the thumb is towards the ceiling, and then we're coming across and drawing that bow back. Channeling our inner Diana, our huntress. And breathe. And then press the hands to either side of the room. Bring that right foot in, and now it's the left foot that turns out. Left finger is, index fingers pointing towards the wall, thumbs towards the ceiling. We're making a fist with the right hand as we draw our bow back. And breathe. And then pressing out to either side again, bring that foot in. We're going to take it again on each side. Right hand is now the arrow. That right foot turns out. And then we're coming across with the left hand, drawing it back. Notice the sensation in the back of the body and the front of the body as you make this movement. Remembering to breathe. Pressing the arms out again, bring that right foot in. We're going to take the left foot out, left finger towards the wall, thumb towards ceiling, and we're going to bring the right hand across to the left shoulder and draw the bow back. And breathe. And then once again, pressing the hands out to either side, feet come back in. We're going to bring that left arm across and right arm underneath to stretch out the back shoulder. And then we're going to take it out again. Right arm is across, left arm is underneath, stretching out that shoulder. And then we're going to release our hands down. Let's take those shoulders up, back, and down again, just in case they need a little bit of movement. And since this is the last class of our summer, I think I'd be remiss if we didn't do our swimming, because I don't usually do this in other classes. So your choice if you want to include the legs in this. Just make sure you have a stable seat so that your bony part of your butt is well connected to the chair, so you're not sliding off the chair in any way. We're going to start with our crawl, so the arms come forward and the legs kind of kick up and down. Again, you can keep those legs stable if that's easier with the feet on the floor, and just do the arm movements. And then we're going to take it so that we're doing the backstroke. So we're reversing the movement of the arms. The leg movement is the same. Notice the sensations in the belly, because you should be drawing that belly in towards the spine. You're getting some belly strengthening here as well. And then let's pause that movement. Hands are down by the side. Feet come back to the floor. Excuse me. We're going to do our breaststroke. So the way I teach the breaststroke is we come forward with the arms, and if we want to bring the legs into it, we're bringing the legs down, just kicking from the knees. So a little complicated here. Still feeling that in the area of the belly. And then we're going to pause that movement. And then we're going to do the butterfly. And for the butterfly, I'm bringing the legs around like so. So it's like the little legs in the back are just going from the knees and out to the side. So it comes across like this, up and straight down, and the legs are kind of scissoring from the knees. And then pause that movement. You've probably worked up some energy here, so let's just pause in our chair now, take a few breaths, and then we'll go into our tray movement. So taking the palms in front of us, we're imagining we have our beverage of choice in the hands and we don't want to spill it. We're inhaling the arms up and overhead, bringing the fingers together towards the top, keeping the palms up, not spilling our beverage, coming in towards the torso and back behind us. And then starting again at the starting position, taking it up again, fingers towards one another, then coming back in towards the torso and back behind us. And we'll do it one last time at the starting position, up and overhead. Fingers come in towards the torso and back behind us. And then right at that starting position, you can get rid of the beverages if you like, shaking out the whole upper body, releasing any lingering tension there. Okay, we're going to do one more set of movements in honor of summer. Picking fruit. Diane was out blueberry picking. I was out yesterday. Some people may be going after peaches. There's a lot of things to pick if you've got a farm nearby. So we're going to reach across, pick it, and put it in our basket. Then we're going to take it on the other side. Pick and put it in the basket, and reach, and into the basket, reach, and into the basket, and again, reach, and into the basket, and reach, and into the basket. Now we're going to go straight up, reach, and we're going to put it on the other side, and reach straight up, and place it on the other side. Reach, cross over and place, reach, cross over and place. Now we're going to do our tricep movement. So the right hand is coming to the right shoulder blade, bringing that elbow up towards the ceiling. Left hand on the right elbow. And then we're exhale, coming over, nice stretch, lateral bend. Inhale, back up. Exhale, over. Inhale, back up. And exhale, over. Inhale, back up. Release the top arm down. Release the other arm down. Let's bring that left hand to the left shoulder blade. And then hand on the elbow. Exhaling over. And inhaling back up. Exhale, over. Inhale, back up. Exhale, over. Inhale, back up. Releasing that top arm down and then the other arm. And then let's take the fingers are spread wide and then we'll bring them into a fist as we come up to the shoulders. And then exhale, spread the fingers wide. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhale up, exhale down, inhale up, exhale down, and one more. Inhale up, exhale down. Let's pause, bringing our palms together at the heart center. Let's take a few breaths, and as you're taking those few breaths, come forward in the chair a little bit because we're about to do some back bends. But we just did a lot of vigorous movement, so I want to make sure everybody's heart is coming back into a more neutral place. Remember to breathe deeply. So as a reminder for the back bend, we're going to inhale the arms forward and then the arms are coming back behind us. So you want to make sure you have enough space on the chair. So let's go. We're going to do 5 of these. Inhale forward. Exhale, bring those arms back behind us. Inhale, lift the chest, draw the shoulder blades together. Maybe the chin is neutral or maybe you look up towards the ceiling. Just do what feels right for your neck. And breathe. And then exhale, let's bring those palms together at the heart center. Taking it again, inhale forward. Exhale, coming back behind us. Inhale, lift. Draw the shoulder blades together. Gaze up towards the ceiling if that's comfortable or straight ahead. And then exhale, let's release the palms back to the heart center. Here we go again. Inhale and exhale back behind us. Inhaling, lift. And breathe. And then exhale, release those shoulder blades, palms together at the heart center. 2 more. Inhale, coming forward. Exhale, coming back behind us. Inhale, lift from the sternum. Draw those shoulder blades together. Little arch in the back. And then exhale, release the shoulders, bringing the palms back to the heart center. Here's our last one. Inhale the arms forward. Exhale, coming back behind us. Draw the shoulder blades together, lifting the chest and breathing. And then exhale, let's release the shoulders, palms come together at the heart center. Pause and breathe. We're going to scooch back to about the middle of the chair and just check in. Notice that your hips should be relatively even with one another. We're going to bring that right hip back a little bit towards the back of the chair. So your left hip is a little bit forward, your right hip is a little bit back. We're going to bring the arms up, inhale, and then on an exhale, that left hand is coming to the right knee, the right arm is coming maybe behind us, and maybe the head is turning looking over the shoulder for our twist. And breathe. Then we're going to inhale both arms up. We're bringing our hips back to neutral again. And now we're going to shift the left hip back. Then the right hand is to the left knee. Left hand comes back behind us, and maybe the head gazes over that left shoulder. Nice side twist here. And breathe. And we're going to take this one more time, inhaling the arms up, evening out the hips, and then shift that right hip back. Left hand to right knee, right hand behind us, gaze over the shoulder. Notice the breath. And then inhale the arms up, even the hips. Shift the left hip back, right hand to left knee, left hand behind. And gaze over the left shoulder, if that's comfortable. Then inhale the arms up, even out the hips, bring the hands in front of us, flip the palms, and let's take a full body stretch, pressing the feet into the floor. And then exhale, releasing the hands down. Let's pause and breathe. Now we're going to take a forward fold. So remember, as I say very often, the importance here is the length of the spine, keeping it nice and long, not how far you go. So we don't want to go forward if we're rounding the spine. We want to just take it as far as we can keep the spine long. So we're going to inhale the arms up and overhead. Exhale, bring the palms right to those hip creases. Inhale, lengthen from the tailbone through the crown of the head, and then exhale, bringing the fingertips across the thigh, maybe to the knees. We're coming forward, hinging from the hips. So the movement initiates from the hips, not the back. And then inhale, coming back up. Taking it again, inhale, arms up and overhead, hands come to the hip creases. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, coming forward, hinging from the hips. Maybe you go a little bit further, maybe not. Just notice the length of the spine. And then inhale, coming back up. Last one. Inhale, arms up and overhead, hands to the hip creases. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hinging from the hips, coming forward. Breathing. And then inhale, coming back up. Palms together at the heart center. And then we're going to just take 3 lateral bends, 3 on each side. So left hand comes down to the side, inhale the right arm up, and then exhale over. And then coming back to the other side. Feel free to take this as quickly or as long as you want. If you want to linger on one side, stretching that hand, reaching over towards the wall. Feeling the stretch, please feel free to do so. Don't feel like you have to go at the pace that I'm going. And then whenever you complete your round of 3 on each side, just bring the palms back to the heart center. Then we're going to inhale, coming forward, flipping the palms, pressing up towards the ceiling, pressing the feet in towards the floor, and then exhale, releasing those hands back down. Okay, now we're going to jump to our knees. Another critical joint in our body. So we're just gently going to be straightening and bending the knee. And sometimes you can get a full breakfast cereal sound of snap, crackle, pop here. That's normal. If it hurts, you don't do it, but the noise may be normal. Then you're going to release the foot down, and we're going to take it on the other side. And again, just gently bending and straightening the knee. then we're going to pause it. So now that we've limbered up the knees, I've taken this a little out of sequence from what I normally do. We're going to just do one round of sun salutations, just to honor the summer. Palms are together at the heart center. We're going to inhale the arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands come to those hip creases. Lengthen the spine. And then exhale, coming forward. We're going to take the hands underneath the left leg and lift that left leg. Release the foot down. Press the feet into the floor. Inhale up. Palms together at the heart center. Taking it again for the second round of the sun salutation. Inhale up. Exhale, palms to the hip creases. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Coming part way up to bring the hands underneath the right leg. Lift the right leg. Press the foot in. Inhale, back up. Palms come together at the heart center. And we're going to do one more with a twist. If a twist feels okay in your body. If it doesn't feel okay in your body, just lift the leg like we just did. So here we go. Inhaling up. Exhale, palms together at the hip creases. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, coming forward slightly. We're going to bring that left hand onto the right knee, and then we're going to inhale that right arm up, gazing up towards the right fingertips. And then exhale, release that hand down. Both hands come down. Inhale, coming back up. Palms together at the heart center. Taking it to the other side now. Inhaling up. Exhale, hands to the hip creases. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Coming back up, that right hand comes to the left knee. And then we're going to inhale that left hand up, following the fingertips with our gaze. So we've got a little bit of a stretch going on. And then exhale, releasing it back down, pressing the feet into the floor. Inhale, back up. Palms together at the heart center. Release the hands down, and we're going to bring our attention to our knees again, taking the hand up, the right hand on the right knee, lifting the leg. We're going to open up that outer leg and then bring the leg back in. So this is a hip movement that we're actually initiating from the knee. So just opening and closing the leg. And then bring it back in, and let's take it on the other side. Opening and closing. And then bring it in. And then we're going to extend the right leg long, and we're going to point the toes and then flex the foot, so bringing the toes towards the shin. So pointing and a flexing a few times. And then circle the ankle in one direction, then the other direction. And then release the foot down, and let's bring the other leg up, and we're going to point the toe and flex, point and flex, point and flex, point and flex, point and flex, and then circle in one direction, and then the other direction. And then release the feet down. We're going to scooch forward on the chair, step the feet wide, hinge from the hips, and we're going to, again, take movement from the pelvis as we go in a circle. And then coming back to center, we're going to take it in the opposite direction. And then coming back to center again, we're coming up, draw the legs in. We're going to give ourselves a great big hug as we press into the floor and come up to standing. So just to orient ourselves in this new space, we're going to come up on our toes and back on our heels. Up on the toes, back on the heels, up on the toes, back on the heels, up on the toes, back on the heels, and maybe march it out. turning towards the front, away from the chair. And maybe just take a few coat sleeve movements just to get any kinks out before we do a round of a moon salutation for the first new moon of the summer. So we did our sun salute and our moon salute, which will be honoring the creations of the sun and the moon, the divine within all of them, if you will. So feet should be about hip distance apart if that's comfortable for you, a natural stance. We're going to come up with crescent moon, and by that, the fingertips, the index fingers are pointed towards the ceiling. The other 3 fingers are curled down. It's what I call church and steeple. So it looks like the church and the steeple. We're going to inhale the arms up and overhead. And then we're going to exhale over to the right for a lateral bend. And then inhale back up. And then exhale over to the other side. Inhale back up. Release the hands down by the sides. We're going to step the feet wide with the toes turning out a little bit. Just check in to make sure you can bend your knees evenly from this position. So then we're going to come up into our star. Then the hands come into cactus or goddess arms, and then we're going to bend the knees, taking the elbows in towards our sides. And then inhale back into star. Right hand is coming to the right leg, and exhale over. Coming back into our star, then into our goddess, and into our star. Left hand is to the left thigh. Inhale the right arm up. And exhale over. And back into star, into goddess, into star. Hands come down by the side, step the feet together. Bringing the palms into church and steeple again. Inhale up. This time we're going over to the left. Inhale back to center. And then over to the right. Inhale back to center. Release the hands down. Let's march it out. And we'll take one more round of that. If you're looking for a yoga sequence to do that doesn't require a lot of time, that one we just did is a really good one, the standing moon salute. It's one of my favorites. Bringing the palms together into church and steeple. Inhale the arms up. Exhale over to the right. Inhale back to center. Exhale over to the left. Release the hands down, step the feet wide. Again, just check those knees, make sure you've got a good bend to them. Inhale the arms up into star, coming into goddess. And then exhale the hands down as we bend the knees. Inhale back into star. Right hand to right side, exhale left arm over. Back into star. To goddess, to star. Left hand to left thigh, inhale right arm up, exhale over. Back to star, to goddess, to star. Release the hands down, step the feet together, church and steeple. Inhale up, exhale to the left this time, inhale back to center, and exhale to the right. And release the hands down. Pause and breathe. And now we're going to connect through our balancing pose with our inner trees. So let's take the right leg, which is closest to the chair as I'm standing. We're going to turn the left foot out. Left heel either to the ankle or the sole of the foot to the side calf. Your choice. Find a place to focus your gaze and then bring the palms together, or the branches can expand. Whatever is your version of the tree is perfectly fine. And if you want to play with your branches, feel free to do that as well. And then release the hands down, release the foot down. Let's march it out. And then we're going to take it over to the other side. So now it's the left hand, or the left foot rather, which is going to be the balancing foot. Make sure it's feeling nice and connected to the floor. Turn the right foot out, heel to ankle or to calf, your choice. Find a place to focus the gaze, and then bring your hands into whatever expression of tree that may be. It may be different on the one side versus the other. Just notice what it is. Notice whether your tree is stable or whether it's feeling the effects of wind. And then release the foot down and march it out. And then let's just take our arms again and just release that stress or tension that we may be holding in the body. And then we're going to turn and face the chair. And then we're gently going to walk backward, allowing our butt to reach as far back towards the wall as is possible. We're hinging from the hips, and maybe there's a slight bend to the knees. Maybe you want to come up on the toes and pedal the feet a little bit to stretch out the calves. Your choice as to how you stretch. Just make sure you're feeling nice and stretched out. And then as you feel ready, you can walk towards the back of the chair, coming back into your seat. And so for this surrendering to the divine within all of creation, I picked the combination of Somewhere Over the Rainbow and What a Wonderful World. I just think that that kind of talks about connection. So we've done Somewhere Over the Rainbow quite a few times, but as a refresher, the instrumental beginning and closing, we offer energy out, we bring it in, we spread it all around. And then we have a half rainbow for every time we go somewhere over the rainbow. Then a full rainbow. Then the first time we do it, there's a lullaby. All the other times we're going to hug. First verse, we're going to stretch each of the fingers on each hand and the wrist. And then in this version, we go into What a Wonderful World. So for What a Wonderful World, the palms are face up. And we're just going to bring that right hand up first, gazing at the fingers in all of the wonderful world, and then over to the other side. And then we're going to take it all the way up. And then we're going to think to ourselves, what a wonderful world, giving a big hug to the world and bringing it back in. And then there's a verse where, let me see here. Oh my, drawing a blank. Where people are colors of the rainbow are pretty, so there's rainbow imagery. So we take half a rainbow, and then we see people shaking hands. So we're going to shake hands and then change the switch. And what we really think they're saying is, I love you, with a nice hug. And then we go to last one of hearing babies cry, thinking to ourselves, what a wonderful world. And then we go right into Someday I'll Wish Upon a Star. So it's our second verse of Somewhere Over the Rainbow, where we're going back and forth on either side. And then we end with rainbow and the energy. Okay. Here we go.
Okay, this is from Gabby.
And draw the energy in. And spread it all around.
dreams that you dream of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. And the dreams that you dream of, dreams really do come true. Someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Be where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney top. That's where you'll find me. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, bluebirds fly. And the dream that you dare to, oh why can't I? Well, I see trees of green and red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Well, I see skies of blue and I see clouds of white and the brightness of day. I like the dark and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? We're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than we'll know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Someday I wish upon a star, wake up where the clouds are far behind. Be where trouble melts like lemon drops, high above the chimney top. That's where you find me. Oh, somewhere over the rainbow, way up high. The dream that you dare to, why, oh why can't I?
Offer that energy out. Bring it in. And spread it all around. Now I offer you the opportunity to come back into your mountain pose in your seat. Maybe bring those the index fingers and thumbs together back into our chin mudra, allowing the hands to rest on your lap, gently closing your eyes. I'd like to offer a final closing meditation. It's called the mantra breath. Breathe in fully, allowing the belly to rise on the inhalation. As you exhale, allow the belly to fall as you complete the outgoing breath. Take some steady breaths, allowing the lungs to empty completely. On the next in-breath, silently breathe in the word peace to yourself 3 times until the lungs are full. On the next breath out, silently repeat the word peace until the exhalation is complete. Taking a few rounds of this peaceful mantra breath, breathe in peace, peace, peace. Breathe out peace, peace, peace. And then as you feel ready, you can either bring your hands to the heart center or the palms together. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. I honor the place in you which is of peace, integrity, wisdom, and love. When you are in that place in you, and I am in that place in me, we are one. The light in me honors the light in each and every one of you. I wish you peace for the summer, and I'm going to stop the recording.